We're back. We're back, Zach. It's been a minute. Been on vacation, fall camp, wedding stuff, everything in between. Yeah, I don't even know where to start at this point, but LSU baseball won a championship, so let's just tackle that really quick. I'll let you go in any direction you want. Where do you want to take that?
Yeah, dude. I mean, first of all, we've been busy the last couple of weeks. Obviously, you went overseas, went on an absolute bender, had a good time out there. I went on a little vacation too. Fall camps in the mix, wedding plannings in the mix, all this stuff. So it's been a long last couple of weeks for the both of us, but LSU baseball did win a natty, and it's a pretty crazy time in Baton Rouge for them to obviously get over the hump and do that again, second time in 3 years. Jay Johnson and company just really continue to set the bar at the college baseball level. So it was a really solid year for the team, to say the least. Jared Jones, etc., just paved the way for him. And it's hard to not sit back and look at kind of a quote-unquote dynasty that Jay Johnson's building in Baton Rouge. He's on the trajectory of a ton of greats when they started off at other programs. So they're building something special, and Jay Johnson continues to do that. Obviously, after the Natty, he went out and hit the portal with force as well. So he's looking to kind of reload and revamp the roster moving forward. But nonetheless, man, that program, I guess, continues to really just dominate.
Yeah, very impressive. It's pretty funny listening to people doubt Jay Johnson. Middle of the year, classic LSU fans. 2 and 4 years. So, uh, pretty amazing job by him. And then started off slow in the portal, and then really picked up steam. We were talking a little bit before the pod about the transfer portal. Trent Caraway. What are your thoughts on him possibly playing third base?
Yeah, I mean, he's an absolute gamer. This is a guy who struggled a little bit throughout the regular season, but really hit his stride in the regionals and whatnot, and into the rest of the postseason play. So, a player that's got big game potential, one that MLB scouts have really raved about. If he can put it together, this is a guy who'll be selected pretty high in the 2026 MLB draft. So, LSU gets him as a 1 year rental. This is a guy that the coaching staff is really excited about, one that they've kind of raved about time and time again. So, I think that if he can piece it all together, this could be one of your Danny Dickinson type of guys who really comes in and really makes an immediate impact for the program.
Yeah. I mean, is he pretty much a lock for third base, or what do you think?
I think you're gonna have a ton of battles moving into kind of fall ball and then into preseason practice in the January February range. But this is a player that they have high expectations for, and I'd be pretty surprised to not see him carve out a pretty significant role in the infield.
Who would battle him? Like Pearson, Simpson, maybe a freshman. I'm not really sure. I don't. Who do you think his main competition is a third? If you think of a guy.
Tanner Reeves is a guy that I'm still high on. I mean, he's returning back to the team in 2026. He's a guy who can play in the outfield too if you need him to. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife. But I think you could throw in Pearson in the mix too, Tanner Reeves, any newcomer that you want. I mean, LSU recruits at a high level all the time. So really, you can kind of, I guess, pick your poison there. But he's going to be at the top of the list for me for a guy who starts at third base.
And then, what are your predictions for second and first?
It's a good question. I mean, you brought in a ton of newcomers. Simpson's a guy who could really come in the mix and make an impact with the high point transfer. So I think you can make a bunch of different plays in that spot right there. Obviously, keep Milam at short. Or no,
No, you
no,
keep
dude.
what?
At second, you put Milam.
Why would you switch Milam to second?
I don't know. I mean, he looked great at short, I guess.
I wouldn't mess with it.
Yeah, I guess keep him at short. He was pretty dominant. Pretty dominant there.
Yeah,
Probably put Braden
defensively he
Smith
was
back.
unbelievable. I mean, yeah, I think Milam it's short, and then like I don't know, you got Dardar, you got maybe Reeves. I don't. They got a lot of guys. They don't really have any like locks in the infield except Milam. It seems like. Yeah. No, LSU baseball is definitely on a roll. But did you see Zach Yorkie?
Dude, go and get a hefty lefty in the portal. I mean, I love it. That's a great move. Like, screw it. This is a guy who could play first base too. I mean, you got a ton of players who can battle for positions moving forward. He could be a DH. He could be a first baseman. I mean, this is a guy who can go in and just give you sheer power when he's at the plate. So you got to have him in the lineup in one way or another.
Yeah. No, they said like oh he's got power, but apparently walks is like his bread and butter. So he does get on base. I'm pretty sure his on base percentage is insane. But yeah, that's a guy I'm pretty intrigued to see. That guy's a big boy. So I think if they can get him down
Dude,
to
he's like 295 pounds. Like this dude's a
yeah.
freaking tank. Like when you like hefty lefty is an understatement. Like this dude's a monster.
Yeah, get him on the Zion Williamson diet or something.
Shit.
So now No, get him down to like 270, and that dude would be a beast. So he already is a beast, but even more of a beast. But yeah, he's probably like my favorite player to see what's going to happen. And then the MLB draft. The LSU kind of got skimmed a little bit on that, but yeah, were you surprised seeing Ethan Fry going a third round?
There was a lot of buzz once the season ended that there were teams that were super high on him. I think in the third round was a little bit of a shock for me. Um, but I love the situation. I mean, going to Houston and stuff, like you're relatively close to home. Did it shock me? Yeah, it did for sure. But scouts have been raving about him over the last couple of weeks, kind of towards the end of the season. So, did it surprise me? Yeah. Did it surprise LSU and company? Probably not.
I was kind of, I mean, considering he went third and Jones, where did Jones go? The ninth
That
or seventh?
Yeah,
Or
he
was
went
it?
super late. Like that's the comparison. Like that's where people were sitting back and saying, like, well, damn, like you're gonna pick Ethan Fry over Jared Jones? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I mean, as hitters, I would say they're almost equal. I mean, I really wouldn't prefer one or the other. It's just like at least Jones defensively was really good this year. At least he showed he could play in the field. And Fry didn't play like a lick. He played, in the outfield for what, maybe like 2 games for 10 minutes. So that was like one I was really surprised. I was surprised to see Danny Dickinson go kind of late in the draft. I mean, he was playing hurt and he was still pretty serviceable with like, what do you have, like a broken hand or something? So, um, yeah, I was always a big Danny Dickinson guy, and I think he'll be kind of a steal moving forward. He just seems like an MLB kind of guy. So, and then the freshman class seemed to, a lot of them went really early and they didn't really make it to campus. So, um, no, I'm excited for LSU baseball. I'm already looking forward to it. Um, yeah, aren't they releasing the schedule for it soon?
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're already starting to release kind of the non-conference stuff and whatnot. I mean, he reloaded, dude. Like, it's hard not to be excited about what they can do again next year. The freshman class. I know a lot of the guys ultimately did get selected and signed, but nonetheless, you got a bunch of rookies. I just call them all rookies coming in, and I think they're going to make a big time impact. And then the returning pieces. Derek Curiel already told me that he's up 15 to 20 pounds. This is a guy who's really kind of hitting the weight room with force. He said that was his main thing, was building his body up and just really working towards left-handed pitchers. So he's starting to really get in a groove too. Curiel's going to be your star next year. It's his last year. I mean, this is a draft-eligible sophomore. So I think with the talent that you have, you got to execute again next year. I see no reason why they won't make a big-time run.
Uh, does he go to center field? That's what I've heard. It's
Yeah, I
like,
think he goes to center field, and you put Stanfield at third. Or, I'm sorry, you put him at left field, and
yeah,
put Curiel at center.
because Stanfield played left field, I think, at Auburn. So I mean, it
Yeah,
makes most sense. So yeah, no, their outfield's pretty stacked. I mean, Browns and Wright. So I know they got that guy. What's his name? Like William Patrick. That guy's a stud. He's an outfielder. I would assume he's going to get some rotation as well. So yeah, LSU's gonna be pretty stacked. It's pretty exciting. If you're an LSU fan, baseball fan. So yeah. Also about exciting. You getting that football itch or what? I mean, you've been in it for a while now. So
dude, I mean, we're back. Like we're fully back in football season right now. Been at the facility probably 4 days a week since July 31st, August 1st, whichever one. It's back. I mean, we're in full swing. Fall camp is ramped up throughout August rather, and then tomorrow they're gonna wrap things up in Tiger Stadium with a scrimmage at night. It's gonna be exciting. This is where you get to see kind of those final rotations before they start game week on Monday. But nonetheless, it's been a really beneficial stretch for this program. It's hard to not be excited about what LSU can do in 2025. I mean, to go out and get 18 newcomers through the portal, have a couple immediate impact freshmen too. It's hard to not be excited about what this team can be in 2025.
yeah, one topic that's been pretty discussed lately is offensive line. I know we were kind of talking a little bit before the pod, but you said you kind of had a hot take. What you got?
Yeah, I think throughout fall camp, that's been kind of the buzz. That's what everybody's been talking about is what the offensive line is, and if it's going to be their true kind of weakness spot on this team. And yeah, throughout fall camp, it has been the weak link to this point, but they've kept the same first team for the most part during camp. From left to right, it's Tyree Adams. At left guard is where you start. Well, left tackle is Tyree Adams, and then at left guard is where you see kind of that position battle brewing. You have DJ Chester, who's been the mainstay so far. Throw in Paul Mabenga, and then throw in Cohen Eccles. Those are the three that are really rotating there. And then you look at the center position of Braylon Moore, right guard Josh Thompson, and right tackle Weston Davis. Those five haven't really changed too much. But for me, man, I think come week one, you see Cohen Eccles earn the start at left guard. I think this is a player that's really starting to emerge down the stretch. The coaching staff loves him. So I think that he really does move DJ Chester out of the starting lineup and insert himself there throughout camp and into week one at Clemson. This is a big time player, one that's really evolved over the offseason, and the coaching staffs continue to rave about him. So I think when you talk about the position battle at left guard between Mabenga, Eccles, and Chester, I think Eccles gets the nod come week one.
So Eccles left guard. Who's right tackle?
Right tackle Weston Davis. And look, Carius Kern came in on that random Tuesday and got first team reps at right tackle, which really took a lot of us by surprise because he hadn't taken a single right tackle snap all camp. He'd been backing up Tyree Adams at left tackle. So I think they were just trying to light a little bit more of a fire underneath Weston Davis, which I think ultimately it will. I think Weston Davis is your starting right tackle at Clemson. But nonetheless, to have a guy like Carius Kern right behind you, a five-star freshman, that's going to keep you pushing because you know your spot could be limited. So I think Weston Davis is going to get the nod come week one, but he's got to watch his back.
Why are they doing that? Just to push him? Is that the idea? Because I heard Weston Davis hasn't even. I mean, he hasn't struggled all that much. So what's the point of this?
Weston, he's a great player, obviously a former five-star guy out of Texas, a true gamer. But Brad Davis coaches him up really hard. The expectations are really high for Weston. This is a player that they really think can be special. And if you have to light a fire underneath your former five-star guy this late into camp, that's a little bit of a concern point for me too. So, nonetheless, he's had a solid camp, nothing great, nothing too impressive. He's just been a solid piece in the rotation. So, I think they want to kind of light a fire underneath him to hopefully get to that next gear, and maybe sliding Carius in there that day is going to do just that.
Yeah, I don't. I think the LCO line was clearly good last year. They couldn't run the ball at all, but they clearly had Will Campbell, top 5 guy, and then Emory Jones. I think he went in the 3rd round to the Ravens, so they had talent, obviously. No, I think they'll be better than what people are even projecting right now. So, have you done? I'm assuming you've done like a bunch of Clemson tape and kind of know the matchups a little bit, huh?
I've done a little bit of tape, not too much, man. I've been doing a lot of depth chart projections, a lot of rotation projections, eye catchers, stuff like that from fall camp. Obviously, we know what that Clemson front four can do. I mean, it's hell. I mean, this is a strength on weakness for right now heading into week one. Clemson's got a disgusting front four, and LSU's offensive line is their weak spot right now. So it's a little bit of a concern, nonetheless.
I'm guessing that's gonna be the focal point for the game, huh? Like,
That's going to be the headline.
yeah. Wasn't Clemson's defense kind of like overrated last year or no? Like statistically,
I
they
would say
weren't like.
so, but just the returning production, man, it's like everybody wants to sit back and talk about what LSU's bringing back, like Garrett Nussmeier, Harold Perkins, Whit Weeks, but they bring back pretty much their entire front four. And then you go add Will Helt from Purdue, who LSU was on, by the way, in the portal that they really wanted. This is a guy who was a top edge rusher in the entire kind of free agent market. And then Clemson, who does not go into the portal rarely, or they rarely go into the portal, rather, go out and get him. I mean, I think it says a lot about the money that they were offering him and obviously the potential that they see in him. He's a game wrecker. So their front four is nasty. It's nasty. I can't downplay it, Mike. I mean, they are nasty. They're nasty.
Yeah, no, I think that it's gonna be fun to watch. What other like matchups for Clemson that you would be like most intrigued for this game?
Yeah, I think it's watching the passing attack. I mean, Cade Klubnik's an absolute baller. I like him. I think a lot of people it's either you love him or you hate him. Either you think he's just overrated as hell or you like him. And I'm on the I like him train. Do I like him as a number 3 overall pick to the Saints, like they had in Field Yates' ESPN projection? No. But do I think he's a first-round quarterback? Yes. So for me, I think you just got to watch Cade Klubnik and watch the passing attack because you got a vulnerable LSU secondary right now that obviously the talent level's there, but it's about getting it to mesh in game. So for me, when I'm talking about other kind of battles or other spots to watch, it's slowing down that passing attack that really looks like it could hit that next gear for Clemson.
Yeah, no, that's it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see. How's the secondary look? Is this like classic LSU media overhyping the team, or is this like mid, or what do you classify this defense or more specifically the secondary right now?
Yeah, I've tried to limit the sunshine pumping when it comes to this team. I know it's easy to get caught up in it when you're kind of there, and it's practice. It's not game on game action. But for me personally, I've been impressed with the secondary. I think in game is where you're going to really see, obviously, the holes that there may be there. But it starts with the safety play for me. I think you're revamping that spot in the biggest way. It can't get much worse, right? I mean, Major Burns and Jordan Gilbert were abysmal a season ago. So for me, going out and getting AJ Halsey from Houston was a big time move. This is a gamer, man. This guy's 220 pounds. You get him coming downhill, it's over. I mean, he's going to force fumble after fumble if he can get downhill properly and utilize his technique. So AJ Halsey at the safety position alongside Tamarcus Cooley is going to be a really solid 1-2 punch for LSU this year. And then the cornerback position, you really revamped that spot in a big way. Mansour Delane is a surefire tackler, a player who's really impressed during fall camp. He's been one of my winners I picked 5 winners, and he was one of them. So he's really impressed me so far. And then that other side's still up for grabs heading into game week. You got Ashton Stamps, DJ Pickett, and PJ Woodland. Those 3 kind of battling it out for that second cornerback spot alongside Mansour Delane. We'll see what happens right there. But they got a ton of depth, a ton of newcomers, some production. So it'll be exciting to see how it pans out.
Is Pickett one of those guys? Is like he it's not if he plays, it's when kind of guys.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's unreal. I mean, the way that he can move at 6'5". I know a lot of people want to sunshine pump right there and talk about DJ Pickett, number 1 cornerback, 5-star player, a guy who is just a physical specimen. It's easy to hype him up and gas him up. But then you watch him play and you see why people hype him up and gas him up that much. So it's a matter of when, not if. And I fully expect him to see the field come week 1 at Clemson. If it's in a starting capacity, I wouldn't be too surprised, but nonetheless, he's going to get on the field in one way or another.
Yeah. No, this is no, it's exciting. I mean, it's just more promise than it was last year, right? Last year was just really concerning. It seemed like they were just kind of band-aiding a bunch of bullet holes. So,
Well, just the talent level that you have, man. Like your 2 deep depth chart is ridiculous. You have players on both sides of the ball that would start at a majority of SEC schools. And that's on both sides of the ball. Like we haven't even talked about the receiving core that LSU has yet. So, I mean, you have a ton of production coming back, a ton of players coming into the program that have produced at other top programs. So it's exciting. And if we're going to sit here and solely talk about defense, the personnel that they've pieced together is extremely strong. And there's a ton of versatility. And that's what Blake Baker wanted when they kind of went into the portal, is finding guys that can play multiple positions and add into that 2 deep depth chart so that you can have guys that can come in at any time and make an impact. They did that at the edge rusher's position. They did that at cornerback. And the only kind of level that you didn't go and make a big revamp move is the second level. And you've seen Tylen Singleton take that next step after a small, kind of role in his freshman year. So it's hard to not be excited about the defense. I think that's where you're really going to see this team take a leap.
Has Cooley made plays, or is he just kind of like the best guy there right now? And just like,
yeah, I think Tamarcus Cooley, he hasn't necessarily flashed and had these big time plays, but he's just been a consistent piece. Like I said in the first part, just talking about mainstays on the kind of offensive line was Weston Davis. When I talk about mainstays on the first team defense, it's been Tamarcus Cooley, and he hasn't had any big time blown coverages. Obviously, Chris Hilton's speed is going to get over the top of just about any defense. So you've seen some busted coverage there, but nonetheless, man, Tamarcus Cooley is a guy who's been consistent, and that's what you want in the secondary, especially at the last level of defense.
yeah, no, I'm looking forward to Cooley. I think he was a fun player to watch, like the highlights of before he came here or when he came here. So, I know you're a big Deshaun Spears guy. Has he done anything this camp or not really?
I think he's your third safety right now, and he still has to hit that next gear. This is a player that is obviously passed by Cooley and AJ Halsey. I mean, those are your 2 starting safeties, no doubt, come week 1. But I think Deshaun Spears is going to be a player that sees the field this year. It's just about continuing to ramp up that physicality like they have in the SEC. From a physical standpoint, he looks the part. He's long. He's put on size. He's strong. I mean, he's getting there. But it's just about being able to be ready for physical SEC football. And it takes time. This is a young player. And I think right now in college football, we're so used to people coming in and being a boom or bust guy. I don't think he's busted yet just because he didn't boom in year 1. I think it's just going to take time for him to develop. So I think Deshaun Spears is going to be a player that contributes. It's just going to take time, and I think you'll see the field in kind of like sporadically, I guess, in 2025.
Yeah, no, I feel that. How's Harold Perkins looked? I mean, I've heard physically looks good as ever. So, I mean, does it look like he's lost a step, or what's the latest?
No, I mean, when I talk about Harold Perkins, the word that I've used to describe him to just about everybody that I've talked about is completeness. I mean, he just looks like a complete player out there. We know that he can wreak havoc in the backfield and come off the edge and get to the quarterback and get TFLs and sacks, etc. We know that he can do that, but it's about being able to drop back in coverage as well and make impactful plays in that regard too. And on day 4 or 5 of camp, we saw him bait Garrett Nussmeier into an interception where he kind of fell back, followed Nussmeier's eyes, and made the play. And it was the play of the day. I think it might have been day 4 or day 5. So he's shown flashes of being able to drop back in coverage and make plays there. So the completeness level is there for him. He looks comfortable at the star role. So I think you're going to get a good version of Harold Perkins this year. Obviously, the staff and the team are extremely high on what he can do. And so am I. But I just got to see it in a game first before I can sit here and kind of talk rainbows and sunshine about it. But physically, he looks the part. It looks like he's gotten over that mental hurdle, too. I mean, once you tear something in your knee, that mental hurdle is a key one that you got to get over. And I think he's fully gotten over that already.
Let's say he has a season similar to his freshman year. Maybe not, maybe just a tad less. Where do you think he goes in the draft?
If it's like his freshman year, first round,
You think?
I mean, that was unreal what he did in year one. I mean, look, you have to keep in mind that there is a knee injury. There was a drop off in production in year 2. You got hurt year 3. It's been a unique college career to this point, but I think you could see teams take a gamble on him. Is it a surefire first round pick? Hell no. But could I see him be a late first rounder, second round pick? For sure. I mean, the flashes have been there. It's just about where you can fit him at the next level, really, and that's where it gets a little tricky. But that's why I don't get paid those big bucks like those front office guys do.
Yeah, no, this is well, that's why I asked, because like he's undersized, right? He's like what, like 6 foot, and then what is he, like 215? He's not like a traditional guy. I don't know.
That's
Yeah, I
why
think
those guys get paid that money because they got to make those decisions. But I think if he shows flashes of what he did as a freshman, I mean, you can't deny the athleticism, you can't deny the talent. It's just about finding that ideal spot. Um, and I mean, I guess that's going to be at the linebacker position at the next level.
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who's like your one breakout player where you're just like, this guy, where did he come from? Is it good? And I've heard good things. Yeah, who's like the one guy you're just like, yeah, this guy.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to pick one, it's going to have to be Bernard Gooden. I had 5 that I was talking about when I wrote up some content earlier in the week. I had 5, but number 1 on that list was Bernard Gooden. This is a player that you went and got in the spring transfer portal window. You were selective in that window, so you only got 2 guys, AJ Halsey and Bernard Gooden. And Gooden's been your go-to guy in the trenches. I mean, a player who came to Baton Rouge as a guy expected to be a rotational piece, not necessarily your first team guy. But fast forward to camp, and he's really become a kind of focal point within that first team. So Bernard Gooden's the winner. He's loaded. He's small. He reminds me a lot of Mekhi Wingo in a way. He's about 6'2", 270, 6'2", 275. He's a pretty undersized defensive lineman, but he plays so low to the ground and he has so much power that he just blows up the offensive line just about every single play. I mean, the amount of tackles for loss and sacks that he had during fall camp, it was eye-opening. So he'll be a starter come day 1 or week 1 at Clemson. He's the big-time winner for sure.
What are the other? You said 5. Pick one other guy to highlight.
Yeah, another guy for me who's been a really big-time winner is Kyle Parker. I love Kyle Parker. I think he's a gamer. I've used that term for a couple of different guys, and it fits the mold for him too. You saw Aaron Anderson miss a lot of fall camp because he was nursing a sore knee, and Aaron Anderson was Kyle Parker was the beneficiary of Aaron Anderson's missed time. I know you have an absolutely loaded wide receiving core. I mean, it starts with your returning pieces like Chris Hilton, Aaron Anderson, Xavier Thomas. Those are 3 key pieces. You bring in Barry and Brown and Nick Anderson. But Kyle Parker has held his own in that room and gotten significant production during fall camp and significant reps as well. And he's looked the part. So I would certainly have to throw him in the mix too.
Yeah, no. I feel like we've been talking about Kyle Parker for what, 2 years now. So it's just kind of his time. I mean, He's just gotten buried. I mean, this wide receiver group is just kind of insane.
And he
So,
tore his tricep last year, so he's coming off of an injury that it was brutal. I mean, this is a guy that was starting to get some big time reps, and then he tears his tricep and misses just about almost the entire year. I think he got to take a red shirt last year. He's a red shirt sophomore, so this is a player who I think can take that next step. Obviously, you have a ton of guys on that roster, but when I'm talking about returning players that have really caught my eye, it's going to be Kyle Parker and then PJ Woodland too.
yeah, I agree. Hopefully he can play. I mean, do you think he's going to play? Who's he going to play over? I mean, Aaron Anderson, Barry and Brown. Has Nick Anderson done anything? I feel like we haven't. No
He
one's really
started to
talked
look
about
the
him
part
much.
during the end of camp. I mean, this is a guy who during spring they were really working back into the mix. Didn't do anything during spring camp at all. Fall camp first couple of days started to see him show flashes, and then he became more consistent with the first team throughout the rest of fall camp towards the back end. So I think you'll see a lot of Nick Anderson this year. Um, it's not really about the first three receivers that go out on the field, Mike. You're going to see really kind of a stable of wide receivers. It's going to be a by committee approach.
I feel like Nick Anderson's probably going to get the most amount of time just because of his like body type. Like because in like Kyle Parker, Barry and Brown, Hilton, and who am I missing?
Xavier Thomas.
Anderson. Yeah, Xavier Thomas. They're all kind of like similar size, like within an inch or
Yeah, so
two of
those are
each
all
other.
kind of like slot guys. Those are guys that you can get the ball into space and see what they can do there. But once you have a guy who can go out on the boundary and make big time plays, big physical receiver, I mean, that's what Nick Anderson does. I mean, he's pretty much your only receiver that is of that size and stature at 6'4", roughly 210, 220. Nick Anderson's a specimen. I mean, when he walks out on the field, you see him pretty damn quick.
Yeah, no, I'm most excited. I think I can't believe I've talked about this guy, but I think Trades Green is the guy. That is your guy this year. I think he's gonna have. I think you're gonna see some crazy stat lines. You're gonna see like 40 catches, like 500 yards, and like 15 touchdowns. I feel like he's just gonna be the ultimate red zone weapon. So, um,
I'll
yeah,
say this. I'll say this on Trade as Green. This guy has had such an amazing fall camp. And I know when we're sitting here talking about winners and whatnot, I don't want to sit here and point out the obvious, like a Trade as Green or a Garrett Nussmeyer or, a Barry and Brown. Like everybody talks about Barry and Brown too. So if we are going to talk about Trade as Green, I think it's important to highlight just what he's done during fall camp. I mean, this is your red zone guy. And on a radio show the other day, I was asked, who do I think scores the first touchdown of the year? And I went with Trade as Green. I think when you get into the red zone, it's so easy to just loft the ball up to him. And if it's within 5 to 7 yards, his catch radius is so ridiculous, he's going to make a play. So for me, I think Trades is fantastic. I think Bauer Sharp is fantastic. When we're talking about a full body of work throughout the offseason and not just fall camp, Bauer Sharp's been a winner. This is a guy who's super talented. I mean, he led Oklahoma in receptions and receiving yards as a tight end. And I know that doesn't say that much just because their passing game was so abysmal last year. But nonetheless, as a tight end to do that is pretty impressive. So that 1-2 punch at the tight end position, I think you're going to have so much 12 personnel this year. It's going to give defenses fits.
yeah. No, I agree. I'm assuming they're gonna run a lot of two tight end sets, right?
Oh
Like
my
I'm
goodness,
not.
the amount of 12 personnel that they're going to run this year. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. It's hard to have to watch both those two guys, and then you throw in maybe a Nick Anderson and an Aaron Anderson. Pick your poison. I mean,
Yeah,
pick your poison.
and then you
It's
can
quite
rotate
ridiculous.
guys. You can rotate guys too, like if they get tired. So, um, what was that guy's name for A&M? He was like the third tight end they took. Was it Green as well? Has he been doing anything this camp or not really?
Yeah, Donovan Green is a player who's strictly a blocking tight end.
Mm,
He's working his way into the mix. This is going to be kind of a rotational piece. Maybe like a goal line type of guy, go in there, extra blocker on the line. Not too much, obviously, from a playmaking perspective, but a consistent blocker and a guy that they can utilize in goal line sets.
yeah, no, I haven't heard much of him, so I mean that would make sense. What else? What else have we been talking about? I'm trying to think. I mean, there's more obviously, but um,
I mean, you can talk about Garrett Nussmeyer. I mean, the fall camp that he's had, obviously, everybody was sitting there. Social media can spin off things like it's nothing. Talking about he tore this, tore that. Obviously, we don't want to put that mojo into the air. But this is a guy who's dealing with patellar tendonitis. I mean, everybody deals with tendonitis once you're getting a little bit older and played a lot of ball. I'm sure you're dealing with tendonitis. I mean, whether you like it or not, whether you know it. I mean, whether it's your elbow, your knees, etc. I mean, you get bumps and bruises along the way, and that's just what it is with Garrett. So take away that storyline and take away that headline about that knee kind of nonsense. And he's been having a really good fall camp. I mean, His accuracy and decision making has been fantastic. When I think about interceptions that he's thrown during fall camp, I can really only think during 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 work, that one that he had to Harold Perkins. And other than that, he's been pretty clean so far. And at this time last year, when we were talking, I was telling you, I mean, he's throwing pick after pick after pick. So the decision making is really starting to look the part. And I think that's what's going to take him, obviously, to that next level moving into this year.
Yeah, no, that was obviously gunslinger. That's has been his thing since high school.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's great year, hopefully on the horizon. I think keeping him upright. It sounds like the backup quarterbacks haven't really lit it up in camp. So is Van Buren locked down the second slot, or Hurley's pushing for it? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be Van Buren just because it's a guy who has SEC experience. Have either one of them flashed? No. I think Van Buren had his best day of fall camp last Friday, a week ago to the day. And that's because Garrett Nussmeier was taking a load management day. So you had Van Buren really taking a majority of the reps. Fast forward to Saturday, and he hurts his index finger, but it's just a jammed finger, and he'll be good to go in the next couple of days. So that's your QB2. I still like what Hurley could present in the future. I mean, this is still a young quarterback, but for me right now, Van Buren's locked down QB2 duties.
What's his name? Juwan Johnson. Is he? I know they've been kind of using him all over the place. Do you think they could use him like in a wildcat kind of thing, or?
Yeah, man. During red zone work, I'll tell you, they've been utilizing Juwan Johnson too much in the
Really?
wildcat sets in the red zone. I mean, it has not been effective. Maybe not one time. So,
Really?
but they
Oh,
just keep
shit.
running it over and over and over again. But nonetheless, man, Juwan Johnson's made that full transition back to running back with this team. You only have 3 scholarship backs because JT Lindsey's dealing with off the field stuff. But nonetheless, you put Juwan Johnson back there now. You got 4 backs, and you're going to see a lot of him this year, whether it's in wildcat sets. You'll see him take the ball out of the backfield a couple of times too. That's your 4th running back on the team, and he could firmly compete for some big time reps.
That's probably what it is. They just trying to get him touches, trying to work it in. But yeah, I know you got to go soon. Trying to think, anything else you want to touch on?
No. I mean, we hit on a little bit of baseball, obviously coming off of a natty. We talked a little bit of Clemson, got some fall camp in there, position battles up front and O-line, some breakout players, talked a little bit to Juwan Johnson, Garrett Nussmeier. I mean, we hit on a lot. And when we talk next week around this time, we'll give some full season predictions. We'll give a Clemson prediction. We got some good stuff to talk about.
Well, I was gonna say, what are your predictions now? So
For that game, I'll give you. We'll go one game at a time. For me, or at least one game right now. And for me, I think Clemson's front 4 is just a little bit too strong for LSU at this point in time. So right now, I'm giving Clemson the edge. That's where I sit right now. That's where I sit right now. Maybe next week when we talk, I'll have a different perspective. But for right now, I've got LSU dropping week 1 to Clemson. I'm gonna give them the edge.
do they cover?
Man, what's that line? Like 3.5 right now? I mean,
I saw 4, but I'm sure 3.5,
they could
4,
cover.
something like that.
They could cover. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think
That's where
LSU
I'm at.
went.
That's where I'm at right now.
I'm gonna take LSU in this, and then they're gonna drop a weird fucking game to like Florida or something. I don't know. That's just how I see this going. But I don't know. You really never know. I mean, I don't know if 3 L's get you in the playoff, but 2 definitely will in the SEC. Yeah, no, at 57.5, you like the over under? I kind of like the under.
I kind of like the under as well. If LSU's defense can be what I think they can be, I like the under.
If LSU's defense, and then you're saying, bad or mediocre line versus good defensive line.
Correct.
I mean, that's something.
I think you're gonna have 2 good defenses really going at it, and obviously everybody wants to highlight Klubnik and Nussmeier. But if the defenses can play like the preseason buzz has been about, I see no reason why this game won't hit the under. I mean, 57.5 is a lot.
That is a lot. I mean, it's more than 14. A quarter. So, yeah, you never know. LSU can score in a jiffy though, so you really never know. But yeah, under. I'll take LSU to cover. I wouldn't bet the money line, but that's how I'd play it if I had to do it. So, yeah, that's all I got for the time being. Yeah, if you guys can like and subscribe, appreciate it, and appreciate you guys tuning in, and see you next week.